Hello, and a good morning, and a good afternoon, and a very good evening to you. The good and what about I always do these weird music intros? Anyway, hope you like them. Good morning, hello. Good evening, hello. Good afternoon, hello. Let's just change it up a bit. Anyway, hello everybody. Today's video, everybody, we are revisiting literally, in my book, one of the best Marshall amps that's ever been made. The Marshall Master Reverb 30. I've actually already done a demo of, on one of these amps. I actually own two of these now because I always promised myself if I ever saw another one, I would buy it. And if you saw the video recently, Monday's vid, I did. And here we are. And it is just... These things are like hidden gems. They really are. And they're really hard to find. Like, it's took me so long to get a second one. I bought my first, it would have been about 2012, maybe? No, it wouldn't. No, sorry. I tell a lie. It was earlier than that. It was... Oh, my monkeys. It was 2009. I bought my first Master Reverb in 2009, PeopleTube. And basically, I've been after another one ever since because they're just... In my opinion, like I said, in my opinion, one of the best Marshall amps ever made. These things are stunning. So, what is it? Basically, this is the Marshall Master Reverb head, the JMP, I think it is. It's got like a name like a 220 something or another, I don't know. Anyway, this is basically the 30 watt single channel combo version of that amp. So it's a 30 watt, we've got a single 10-inch speaker, and by the way, the mic looks really weird where it's set. The speaker's actually offset. So on this side there's nothing. The speaker is actually here. The centre of the speaker is about there. So it's an offset speaker. Does that do something to sound? I don't know. So it's a 30 watt solid state, all solid state amp, real spring reverb, which is fantastic. You'll hear that in a bit. And it's basically just a single channel. Like I say, like the old JMPs. You have a preamp volume here, master volume, treble, middle, bass, presence, and reverb. You got two ins here as well. You got a line out and a headphone. They're the weak part of this amp. Don't use them. The headphone sounds like you plug it into a rat, and not the pedal. I mean, literally plugging your guitar into, like, you know, plugging your headphones into a rat. Let's see what noise that thing makes. And the line out is just really harsh. I will show you the line out in this video. I'll show you at the end. But the line out isn't very nice, unless this one's better than my other one. In which case, if not. But again, you know, anyway, these are from the 90s. This one is actually from 1990. I think this was finally signed off at 20th of June 1990, according to the sticker inside, which is awesome. So I was 4 when this amp was made. Yeah, I'd have been 4, maybe. No, I'll just turn 5. Who cares? It doesn't really matter, does it? But I was very young when this amp was made, and now I own it, and that's a bit weird. But it's fantastic. These things are amazing. They are they are an amp of 1,000 voices. They have so much in them. You know, you can do so many different sounds with this thing. You don't have tons of gain in this thing, but there's enough. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. There's just enough for you to be able to kind of get away with just plugging straight into it with a guitar, and just, yeah, you've got enough for like a nice easy kind of time playing through it. But again, they are basically just the Marshall Master Volume head, I call it. I don't really know. I can never remember the name of it, and I believe this one is the 2203. Let me just check. Can I check? There, let's move that. No. 52. This is the 5203. I'm prepared, as usual. move that back in. So, but again, if you see one of these things per tube, try it. Because like I say, I stand by these things as being amazing. And again, I've only ever played mine. I've played the non-reverb model. It was just called the Master Lead. It's not the Master Lead 30s, 12s. It was called something like the Master Lead or something like that. It's basically the same amp but without the reverb. And I really wanted that one, but the person who had it wouldn't sell it to me, so I was kind of gutted about that because it sounded amazing as well. And plugging into this one the other day when I got it was just like, I get so excited. So, without further ado, PeelTube, let's make some noises with the 5220, whatever, I've forgotten it already, it's numbers, I don't do that. With the Master Reverb 30. Because again, like I say, one of the best Marshalls ever made, in my opinion. Marshall, if you're watching, reissue these, because stunning. Plus, also, if they made a 100-watt version of this and put it in a head, be still my beating heart, that would be immense. Anyway, PeelTube, so you heard in the intro jam my pedal board, and this thing takes pedals so well. As long as you keep the preamp volume down, to more of a more kind of clean sound, it does it really well. But if you want to crank it and get distortion and just use boosts, say you just want this amp as your core distortion, it'll do that as well. It just loves pedals. It's one of those amps that no matter what you do, it will love it. Like, I am yet to find anything that I plug into this amp that goes, nah, don't like that. It just goes, yeah, bring it. It's so happy for anything. So I'll let you know where I've got it all set up for, and also the difference between this one and my first one. So I've got the preamp volume set at 7, so that's at 2 o'clock. The master volume I had at 7 as well. These amps aren't loud. They're not a gigging amp, to be honest with you, PeelTube. These are more home and recording use. You can gig them, and I've gigged my other one, but you really need to mic it. If you're going to gig it, you need to mic it, and also don't stand near a drummer with it because it will not be heard. They're not loud. Being 30 watt, they're not loud, but my gravy lords is the tone fantastic. Hopefully I'll be able to show you that today. But I had the master volume at 2 o'clock as well. By the way, listen. That's the reverb tank splashing around because I've got it turned up near enough all the way. So that's where I had that. Treble, I had the treble at 11 o'clock. This is one of the very rare amps I have to use treble on people with you because the EQ actually does something. And he's actually really responsive, and I love that. So I got treble at 11 o'clock. Mids, I've got at 2 o'clock. Bass I had all the way off because, again, you need to cut through. You don't really need the bass. And again, these old Marshalls like this, when you're playing a band situation, you don't really need the bass. They're big enough as they are. A load of people I know, like Richie Blackmore, Adam Jones, they don't use bass on their Marshalls. They just turn them off. And I can see why. So I had the bass on 0. It records better as well. Presence was at 10 o'clock. And I had reverb all the way up on 3 o'clock. And again, the spring reverb in here is fantastic. And it's all housed within the head chassis. The actual reverb unit is actually inside here. It's not in a separate tank. It's actually in there. And it's so cool. Anyway, that's definitely enough waffle. Let's make some noise. So, I'm going to show you at first, YouTube, as usual, with the pedal board. And then we'll unplug the pedal board and just plug in humbuckers and single coil straight into the amp and let you hear it just straight in with a couple of different sounds. So let's go. Pedal board first. Okay, YouTube, like I say, this thing takes pedals like nobody's business. It's just amazing. Hopefully it's come across okay. I'll say, we're just micing up the SM57 today. Again, I don't close mic things. I hate close mic, so it's just, you know, that's more in my test. If I can do that, I'm a happy bunny. So yeah, anyway, let's unplug L pedal board. Let's turn the volume down as well for a start. And we're just going to go straight in now. So I'm going to start with Les Paul actually today. I'm going to start with the gold top plugged into it, and let's give you a big ruckus rock tone from the get go. Let's start rocking. I do produce. So there's some sounds that this thing can do. Like I say, hopefully I can kind of demonstrate that it goes really smooth to really aggressive, but it does all sorts. It goes really, really clean, does that kind of bluesy kind of breakup, does the rock thing, does the metal thing. I don't think there's anything this amp can't do, personally, apart from Line Out, which we're about to delve into Line Out. But honestly, I just think it's fantastic. Absolutely amazing. I love it to bits. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to plug the pedal board back in, and I'm going to show you the Line Out. I don't know what this one sounds like yet. I ain't tested it. I've saved it for this video, PeopleTube. So you'll be discovering how good the Line Out is when I find out how good the Line Out is. So we'll have a listen and see what we think. So that's the last thing we're going to do today. But like I say, these things are stunning. Hopefully the sounds will come across okay. Anyway, enough whiffle waffle. Let me get the pedal board plugged back in, and we'll try the Line Out. Let's see what happens now. I'll tell you what, PeopleTube, that was way better than my other one. I'm gonna have to go and test. I'm gonna have to go and test my other one now, because I tried the line out on my first one and I was like, it was really harsh and horrible. It was adding all this fizz, and this still does add that. There still is kind of like harshness. It's like a spike around the notes. You can kind of hear it. It's not as smooth as the mic was at the beginning. It's the same settings as the intro jam, PeopleTube, as well. So it's not quite as smooth, but that's usable. I mean, if you wanted to record or anything like that, that line out's way usable. So just forget everything I said about that being weak point, because I'm an idiot. But in all fairness, like, in my defence, PeopleTube, I say my other one, the line out, every time I've tried it has been really, really harsh. But we're gonna have to test this, PeopleTube. When I get back to my other master reverb, I'm gonna test it and see if because not all it's like guitars, not everything. Nothing is created equal. Everything is different. So you never know. The DI on my other one, the line out on my other amp could just not be very good. It could just be a naff one, whereas this one could be amazing. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, anyway, that aside, I am so happy about that, by the way, because I love line outs and I love DIs and I love the way this thing sounds. And I really like the way that DI sounded. I really liked it. It didn't sound... it was still a little bit too harsh for my liking. It was this kind of like scratch to the sound. But I'll tell you what, usable. Very usable. All I would do is just dial down the treble and the presence a little bit more, run it a little bit darker, which is fine by me, to get it a little bit smoother to record her out. But again, this amp, man. I'm sorry, by the way, PeopleTube. This amp's really rubbish, and you should not ever buy one. And if you do have one, send it to me, because you definitely don't want it. Trust me, it's terrible. Don't use it. It'll probably blow up, set on fire. It'll eat your dog. You just don't want it. So send it to me, P.O. Box, Dave Simpson, Marshall, Master Reverb, Horde. And then your life will be more enriched. That way, everyone wins. Do you reckon they bought that? Anyway. But yeah, that aside, these things are... Wow. Every time I plug into mine, it blew my mind. Every time I plug into this one, it blows my mind. It just does everything. And again, for all you John Frusciante fans out there, this is basically the Marshall that John's added to his Silver Jubilee and Marshall Major rig. This is basically the 30-watt solid state combo of that amp. And it does the John thing, you know what I mean? You don't have to have any other pedals. You can do it all from the preamp. The preamp is insane on this thing. It's so versatile. It goes from like super clean to kind of edgy, edge of breakup, overdrive, distortion, mega distortion. It's just insane how much you can get out of one little amp. Again, 10-inch speaker on this one. There is a version with a 12-inch speaker, which I think still sounds good, but not quite as good as the 10-inch. There's something about the 10-inch speakers, and 10-inch speakers really throw sound as well. This thing is poke. Again, live, you can. Just make sure you mic it up and put it out the way of a drummer, because otherwise it'll just disappear into their drum kit. Like I say, I mean, most of this video I've had the master volume at about 6 or 7. I mean, it does go loud. I mean, once you crank this preamp volume to 10 to get mass distortion, on those sounds that I was using, I was running this about, the master volume about 4, so about 11 o'clock, and that was loud enough. So it will go super loud, but again, it has to be fully distorted to do that. So if you don't want it for full distortion as like your core distortion tone, then it's not really going to work. Like, for instance, me, I like to run the amp really clean and use pedals to kind of like get different cores and whatnot. So when I use this, I can use it live, but I have to have it mic'd. It's as simple as that. And then I'll have to have it through a monitor as well so I can hear it. Otherwise, it just doesn't have the legs, so to say. But it's literally one of the best amps in the world. But no, it's one of the worst amps in the world. It's terrible. Don't buy these things. Don't go looking for them. Ever. Again. I think that worked. Alright, this rubbish. Forget it. Forget it. Terrible. Sounded rubbish. Meh. Just, you know, you'd be better off with anything else. Yeah, anything else but these. So, yeah, you don't want this. Anyway, anyway, hope you enjoyed this vid. PeerTube on the worst amp in the world. Yeah, that'll do. The worst amp in the world. And, yeah, I'll see you again for another video very, very soon. If you like the videos I do here, please consider buying me Master Reverb amps. I'm joking. You're not funny, Dave. He tries, but he fails. No, if you do like the channels, please consider becoming a Patreon at Patreon. Link to that is in the description box below. And link to my Bandcamp as well, so you can listen to me music. And other than that, I'll see you again for another video very soon. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. And you didn't see anything, okay? Nothing. You didn't see anything, and you didn't hear anything. Especially not one of the best Marshalls ever made. Worst Marshalls ever made. Bye.